The wrestling world just exploded with news that nobody saw coming, and trust me when I say this is going to change everything you thought you knew about the current state of professional wrestling. Before we dive into these massive bombshells that have fans losing their minds across social media, make sure you hit that subscribe button because you don't want to miss a single update on these developing stories. Chris Jericho has just made his return, and the circumstances surrounding his comeback are absolutely insane. The learning tree himself showed up in a way that has everyone talking, and the implications of his return are far bigger than anyone could have anticipated. Jericho walked back into the arena with a presence that reminded everyone exactly why he remains one of the most influential figures in the business today. His music hit and the crowd reaction was split right down the middle, with some fans erupting in cheers while others made their displeasure known, but that didn't matter because Jericho commanded the room the second he stepped through that curtain. The veteran grabbed a microphone, and what he said next sent shockwaves through the entire wrestling community. Jericho announced that he's not just back for a quick appearance or a nostalgia pop, but he's here to stay, and he's got his sights set on gold. The way he delivered his promo showed that ring rust is not even in his vocabulary, as he cut through the noise with the kind of precision that only decades of experience can provide. He called out several names on the roster and made it crystal clear that age is nothing but a number when you have the kind of skill and determination that he brings to the table every single time. What makes this return even more interesting is the timing of it all. Jericho's comeback happens at a moment when the main event scene desperately needs a shake-up, and his presence immediately elevates every storyline he touches. The backstage reactions have been pouring in, with several wrestlers expressing both excitement and concern about what Jericho's return means for their own positions on the card. Some younger talents see this as an opportunity to work with a legend, while others view it as another veteran taking up valuable screen time that could go to building new stars. The dirt sheets are reporting that Jericho's return was negotiated weeks ago but kept under wraps tighter than Fort Knox because management wanted maximum impact. The plan apparently involves a lengthy run with multiple high-profile feuds already mapped out for the coming months. Sources close to the situation suggest that Jericho himself pitched several ideas for his return, and management loved every single one of them, which is why they gave him creative freedom to execute his vision. His first target has already been identified, and the potential matches that could come from this feud have fans salivating at the possibilities. Now shifting gears to LA Knight and the mystery surrounding his next opponent, because this situation has taken more twists and turns than anyone expected. Knight has been on an absolute tear lately, destroying everyone put in front of him and establishing himself as one of the most over superstars on the entire roster. His promos have been fire, and his in-ring work has improved dramatically to the point where even the biggest skeptics have to admit that he deserves to be in the main event picture. The question on everyone's mind has been who could possibly be the right opponent to take Knight to that next level, and the answer that just emerged is shocking. Multiple reports are now confirming that Knight's next major opponent will be someone returning from injury, and this wrestler has history with Knight that dates back years. The build-up to this match has already begun, with subtle hints being dropped during Knight's recent segments, though most fans haven't picked up on the clues yet. The returning superstar has been medically cleared and has been working out intensely to get back into ring shape after months on the sidelines. This comeback is being positioned as one of the biggest returns of the year, and the clash with Knight is expected to be a show stealer. Backstage sources indicate that both men have been pushing for this match for a long time, and finally the stars have aligned to make it happen. The creative team has been working overtime to craft a storyline that makes sense and gives both competitors a chance to shine. Knight apparently requested this specific opponent because he believes their chemistry will produce the kind of magic that creates instant classic matches. The build is expected to be intense, with both men trading verbal jabs before they finally get physical in what promises to be a heated confrontation. The business side of this matchup is equally interesting, as both wrestlers are seen as major merchandise movers, and the company expects this feud to drive significant revenue. Knight's catchphrases have already become part of popular culture, and adding another top-tier talent to the mix only increases the commercial appeal. The match itself is being planned for a major premium live event with a stipulation that will raise the stakes even higher. This is the kind of program that could define both men's legacies, and everyone involved understands the magnitude of the opportunity. Drew McIntyre being banned is perhaps the most controversial story of the bunch, and the circumstances that led to this decision are complicated to say the least. McIntyre has been one of the most consistent performers in the company for years, and his sudden removal from television has left a massive void in the programming. The Scottish Warrior was in the middle of a red-hot storyline when management made the call to pull him, from all appearances effective immediately. The official statement cited unspecified violations, but insiders are painting a much more detailed picture of what actually went down. According to multiple sources, McIntyre got into a heated confrontation with a top executive over the direction of his character, and things escalated quickly. The disagreement apparently centered around creative decisions that McIntyre felt were damaging to his character and his long-term prospects with the company. Words were exchanged, and the situation became tense enough that management decided to remove McIntyre from television while they sort everything out behind the scenes. The ban is currently indefinite, with no clear timeline for when or if McIntyre will be allowed to return. The wrestling community has rallied behind McIntyre, with fans flooding social media demanding answers and calling for his reinstatement. Fellow wrestlers have also shown support, though most have been careful not to directly criticize management's decision publicly. The locker room atmosphere has reportedly become tense as other talent worry about whether speaking up about creative issues could result in similar punishment. This situation has sparked a broader conversation about performer rights and creative freedom in professional wrestling. What makes this ban even more significant is the timing, as McIntyre was scheduled for several major matches, including a potential championship program. Those plans have now been scrapped, and creative has been scrambling to fill the gaps in the schedule. Several wrestlers have been approached about taking over McIntyre's spot, but none seem like perfect replacements for what he brings to the table. The financial implications are also substantial, as McIntyre is a major draw, particularly in international markets where his star power is undeniable. Behind-the-scenes negotiations are reportedly ongoing, with both sides trying to find a resolution that works for everyone involved. McIntyre's camp has made it clear that he wants to return, but only under conditions that respect his creative input and position on the roster. Management, meanwhile, is said to be holding firm on their disciplinary action while leaving the door open for future discussions. The next few weeks will be critical in determining whether this situation can be resolved or if it becomes a prolonged absence that benefits nobody. Charlotte Flair's wardrobe malfunction has dominated headlines, and the incident has sparked intense debate across the wrestling world. Flair was in the middle of a crucial match when the wardrobe issue occurred, and to her credit, she handled the situation with professionalism and continued performing without missing a beat. The moment was captured on camera and quickly spread across social media, with fans and critics weighing in from every possible angle. This wasn't the first time a wardrobe malfunction has happened in wrestling, but the circumstances surrounding this particular incident have made it especially newsworthy. The production team immediately went into damage control mode, adjusting camera angles and working to minimize the exposure of the incident on the live broadcast. However, in the age of social media and instant replay, nothing stays hidden for long, and clips of the moment circulated widely within minutes. Flair herself has not directly addressed the incident publicly, but sources close to her say she's frustrated with the attention it's receiving and wants the focus to return to her in-ring performance and storyline. The company has also remained relatively quiet on the matter, beyond ensuring that future broadcasts will have additional safeguards in place. What this incident has revealed is the ongoing challenge of wrestling attire and the balance between aesthetic appeal and functionality during athletic competition. Female wrestlers in particular face scrutiny over their ring gear that male wrestlers simply don't experience to the same degree. The conversation has expanded beyond just this one incident to encompass broader discussions about wardrobe standards, safety measures, and the unfair burden placed on women performers to look a certain way while also executing physically demanding moves. Flair's opponents in the match have also been dragged into the controversy, with some fans trying to assign blame for the malfunction. This has created an uncomfortable situation for everyone involved, as nobody wants to be associated with something that has taken on a life of its own online. The wrestlers involved are all professionals who understand that accidents happen, but the court of public opinion doesn't always operate with the same level of nuance and understanding. Management has reportedly reached out to everyone involved to ensure they have support and to discuss ways to prevent similar situations in the future. The technical aspects of wrestling gear construction have now become a topic of serious discussion, with equipment managers and seamstresses being consulted on how to make costumes more secure without sacrificing mobility or appearance. Some wrestlers have already started making modifications to their own gear proactively to avoid becoming the next viral moment for the wrong reasons. The incident has also led to conversations about whether certain types of matches or stipulations create higher risk situations that require different wardrobe considerations. Industry veterans have weighed in, suggesting that incidents like this are unfortunate but ultimately part of the unpredictable nature of live performance. They point out that wrestlers are athletes performing complex physical maneuvers, and sometimes equipment fails despite everyone's best efforts. The key is how everyone responds and moves forward, which is exactly what Flair and the company are trying to do now. The hope is that the wrestling community can learn from this situation and implement changes that protect performers while still delivering the exciting product that fans expect. All four of these stories represent different aspects of the wrestling business, from triumphant returns to booking decisions to backstage drama to unexpected live television moments. Each situation will continue to develop in the coming days and weeks, with new information likely to emerge that adds additional layers to these already complex narratives. The wrestling world never stops moving, and just when you think you've seen everything, something new comes along to remind you why this industry remains so captivating. Fans are advised to stay tuned for updates on all these developing situations, because the next chapter in each story could drop at any moment. The unpredictability is part of what makes wrestling so compelling, and these current storylines have all the ingredients needed to create memorable moments that will be discussed for years to come. Whether you're Team Jericho or wondering about Knight's opponent, or hoping for McIntyre's return, or concerned about performer safety, there's something in these stories for every type of wrestling fan to engage with and debate. If you made it this far, you're clearly as invested in these stories as we are, so don't forget to subscribe and stay connected for all the latest updates, breakdowns, and insider information as these situations continue to unfold in real time.